Dallas, Texas, November 22, 1963. A bright sunny day turned dark in an instant. President John F. Kennedy, young and full of promise, rode through the cheering crowds in his open-top limousine. The world watched, captivated by the youthful charisma of the 35th president. Then, the unthinkable. Gunshots rang out, echoing through Dealey Plaza. Chaos erupted. The world stood still, holding its breath. The image of Jacqueline Kennedy, her pink Chanel suit stained crimson, crawling across the back of the limousine is seared into the collective memory of a generation. The assassination of President Kennedy was more than a political murder. It was a brutal rupture in the fabric of American innocence. It marked the end of an era, the shattering of a national dream. The events of that day continue to haunt the American psyche, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the dark undercurrents of power. The assassination of President Kennedy remains one of the most significant events in modern American history. It was a national trauma that left an indelible mark on the American psyche. The assassination also had a profound impact on American politics and society, leading to widespread distrust in government and institutions. The events of November 22, 1963, continue to reverberate today, a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy and the ever-present potential for violence and chaos. In the chaotic aftermath of the assassination, the official narrative quickly emerged. Lee Harvey Oswald, a former Marine with a murky past and alleged communist sympathies, was identified as the lone gunman. Oswald, apprehended shortly after the assassination, proclaimed his innocence but was shot and killed by Jack Ruby, a distraught Dallas nightclub owner 2 days later. This shocking turn of events further fueled public suspicion and disbelief. The Warren Commission, established by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate the assassination, concluded in 1964 that Oswald acted alone in killing President Kennedy. The commission's report, however, did little to quell the growing tide of skepticism. Critics pointed to inconsistencies and unanswered questions in the official narrative, fueling a plethora of conspiracy theories that continue to swirl around the assassination to this day. The speed with which Oswald was identified and the convenient silencing of a key witness in Jack Ruby fueled suspicion. The Warren Commission's report, though exhaustive, failed to satisfy many who questioned the plausibility of a lone gunman being able to execute such a complex and high-profile assassination. The seeds of doubt, once sown, quickly took root in the fertile ground of national grief and uncertainty. The assassination of President Kennedy became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. Some of the most persistent theories pointed fingers at the mafia, angered by Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime. Others implicated the CIA, unhappy with Kennedy's handling of the Bay of Pigs invasion and his perceived weakness towards Cuba. Anti-Castro Cuban groups, who viewed Kennedy as a traitor for not providing air support during the Bay of Pigs invasion, also came under suspicion. Each theory offered a tantalizing glimpse into a world of hidden agendas and shadowy power struggles. The theories, though widely varied in their details, shared a common thread. They all suggested that powerful forces were at play. Forces that had the motive and the means to orchestrate the assassination of a sitting president. One of the most enduring theories posited that the assassination was a coup d'état, orchestrated by elements within the U.S. government itself. This theory gained traction due to Kennedy's increasingly adversarial relationship with the military-industrial complex, particularly his stance on Vietnam, and his attempts to limit the power of the CIA. The assassination, in this light, was seen as a preemptive strike by those who felt threatened by Kennedy's policies and his vision for a less militaristic America. The Warren Commission, despite its comprehensive investigation, was met with skepticism from the outset. Critics argued that the commission, comprised mainly of establishment figures, was more interested in protecting the reputation of the government than uncovering the truth. The lone gunman theory, they argued, was a convenient narrative that shielded those in power from scrutiny and accountability. Adding fuel to the fire were the numerous inconsistencies and unanswered questions surrounding the assassination. The magic bullet theory, which proposed that a single bullet caused multiple wounds in both President Kennedy and Governor Connally, was particularly contentious. The lack of transparency surrounding the autopsy and the disappearance of key evidence further deepened public distrust in the official narrative. Despite the Warren Commission's efforts to lay the matter to rest, public skepticism persisted. The commission's report, rather than quelling the rumors and speculation, seemed to have the opposite effect. The assassination of President Kennedy became a defining moment in American history, not just for the tragedy itself, but for the deep sense of distrust it sowed in the hearts of many Americans towards their government and those in positions of power. The assassination of President Kennedy continues to fascinate and perplex people around the world. The event, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, has become a cultural touchstone, inspiring countless books, documentaries and films that explore the various conspiracy theories and the enduring questions surrounding the assassination. The enduring fascination with the JFK assassination speaks to a deeper human need to find meaning in tragedy. The assassination, in its senselessness and brutality, challenged the very notion of order and justice. Conspiracy theories in this context provided a sense of order, a way to make sense of the senseless. The assassination of President Kennedy remains a subject of intense debate and speculation. While the official narrative points to Lee Harvey Oswald as the lone gunman, many people believe that there was a larger conspiracy at play. The assassination has become a cultural Rorschach test, reflecting back our own fears, biases, and beliefs about power, corruption, and the hidden forces that shape our world. Grief and loss. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy remains one of the most pivotal and controversial events in American history. It was a brutal end to a presidency filled with so much promise and hope. The assassination left an unhealed wound on the American psyche, a scar that continues to remind us of the fragility of democracy and the ever-present potential for violence and chaos. While the official narrative points to Lee Harvey Oswald as the lone gunman, the numerous inconsistencies and unanswered questions surrounding the assassination continue to fuel speculation and debate. The assassination of President Kennedy serves as a stark reminder that some truths remain elusive, some wounds never fully heal, and some chapters in history remain open to interpretation. The legacy of John F. Kennedy is forever intertwined with the tragedy of his death. It is a legacy that continues to inspire, to challenge, and to remind us of the importance of truth, justice, and the pursuit of a more peaceful and just world.